In today's video, we're going to talk about how to prepare for your homeowner and condo association board meeting. So the first step you should do as a board member, if you're a self-managed community, or as a manager, if you're managing a community, is checking your association's documents to understand if there's any particular protocols that you must guide yourself by. While condos are pretty standard, in your HOAs, you do have differences. So that's why we highly recommend that you check your association's documents. Next, what we recommend is having your meetings already pre-scheduled. In these associations that are very structured, we highly recommend having the meetings pre-scheduled for the entire year, maybe let's say the third Thursday of the month, and that way it makes it easier for your board and for management to plan. If that sounds like too much for you and your community, then I would say schedule them quarterly so everyone already has a structure of every 3 months you already know when your meetings are occurring. In doing so, you have a higher probability of obtaining a quorum of your board members. Because remember, if you're not able to obtain a quorum of board members for regular board meetings, you can't have the meeting. Next, which is a little bit obvious, is have an agenda. But more importantly, what I want to talk about the agenda is making sure that as a board or as a manager, that you're focusing your board of directors or you as a board are really sticking to that agenda. So make sure that when you're putting this agenda together, that you're encompassing what you're going to make the decisions on for that particular meeting, and make sure that you're placing anything from the prior meeting that may not have been solved. Next, I highly recommend is once you have the meeting set, you have the agenda set, you've posted this agenda, is making sure that your board receive the information several days, ideally 5 days before the board meeting. If the board is able to obtain all the information of what's going to be discussed at the board meeting, they can bubble up any potential questions that they may have early on, and that way you can be prepared to answer those questions either at the board meeting or prior to the board meeting. This would make things much more efficient, and it'll give your board a better understanding of what the decisions are going to be at that board meeting. Following tip I will provide is keeping your board on track. If you're a manager or if you're the president of the association and you're managing the meeting, you want to make sure that you're keeping your board on track. If you have a particular agenda item, you want to stick to that agenda item and not jump off into tangents. At the same time, throughout the meeting, you want to remind your board of these items that they need to stay on top of, so that way the decisions are actually made and you're not running off into different tangents. This is why it's so important for your board to receive the packets beforehand so that they can understand the decisions that are going to be made. The next tip is making sure that meeting minutes are being taken. Meeting minutes are supposed to be taken by the secretary of the association, and you're not taking every single word that's being said at the meeting. What you're taking down are important decisions and who's making those decisions, who voted yes, who voted no, and any particular items that should be part of the record of the association. And finally, the last part you want to make sure, or the last tip I would recommend, is once those minutes are done, to make sure that you're posting those minutes on the association's website. If your association doesn't have a website, is distributing it to all the members, so that way you're leading in a very transparent way for your community and your residents understand what occurred at that particular meeting. So I hope you've enjoyed today's tips. While there's so much more that goes into preparing for a condo or homeowner association, we want you to know that we're here for you. So if you're a self-managed community, or if you're not getting the tips that we discussed today with your current provider, please make sure to reach out to us and we'll do our part to support you and guide you through this process. If you've enjoyed this video, please make sure to give us a thumbs up. Also make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel as we have weekly videos coming out. Thank you, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.